Coming up on In Your Neighborhood, you've seen the Big Ben's soda bottles. Now we'll tell you about the history behind them. And we'll also have the amazing story behind this Southern-style barbecue joint in Sunbury. And oh yeah, they have ice cream too. This episode of In Your Neighborhood is brought to you by Data for fast and reliable internet. And Seven Mountains Media, your story, our help.
In the heart of Pennsylvania, Palmerton rose as an industrial powerhouse, fueling America's growth through the industrial age. Like our great nation, they endured, innovated, and thrived, transitioning from zinc to the core of tomorrow. Today, Data delivers blazing fast fiber optic connections for businesses, powering AI centers and innovation. As we celebrate America's 250th birthday, our hometown of Palmerton symbolizes the enduring American spirit. Data, proudly powering America's next chapter.
I love going out and meeting with different businesses and finding out how they work, where their profit margins are, what their pain points are. I just love learning, and so every day I'm learning.
While it's a collaborative effort, you're also given the freedom to work at almost as a lone wolf, but then also, in a collaborative environment as well.
For more information or to become a marketing strategist, head to 7mmsusquehanna.com.
Welcome to In Your Neighborhood. I'm your host, Chris O'Rourke. Where are you going to find dark birch beer, blue birch beer, white birch beer, or red birch beer? Well, really only one spot, Big Ben's or Catawissa Bottling, and that's where we are today.
It's always nice
So I see him still doing cameras.
Am I?
He's got a big sign.
Oh boy.
Awesome sign. Maybe
There-
we'll put it on
Oh,
top
look
there
at
in
this.
the boxes, Tim.
Nice, let me get out of the way. This was made for our anniversary.
Can you blame the owners and employees of Catawissa Bottling for being excited? 100 years is a big deal, especially for a small niche business like this one. Catawissa Bottling has been located here on Fisher Avenue since 1926, when Bruce Gregorovich apparently picked up the idea from the owner of a failed creamery business and began making soda. He started off by producing 8 or 10 different flavors. And what makes the start of this story hilarious, at least to me, is that Bruce was a very large man. Not that fact. Customers took to calling him Big Ben. Why Ben? Nobody knows. It could have been after the famous clock in London. Regardless, the name stuck, and then found its way onto his bottles of soda as their name brand. They still have his original application to the State Department of Agriculture's Bureau of Foods and Chemistry. Among the flavors listed, celery soda. Yuck! I can only imagine what that tasted like, and it's little wonder it fell by the wayside. Bruce ran the company up until his death in the early 60s. Initially, it passed to his wife, until his sons Paul, Joe, and Bruce Jr. took it over. They were in charge until the early 2000s, when the final brother passed away, and their sons, Stephen, Tim, and Michael, who couldn't make it this day, became the present owners. They've taken the Big Ben's line and expanded it to 17 different flavors, all of which you'll find inside their business in either plastic or glass bottles, and some in both, including their famous birch beer, which comes in multiple colors, but not, apparently, with different flavors.
Blue, I know it probably doesn't taste any different than the white, but the blue birch beer is fantastic.
It's all up here. It's psychological. Coloring is tasteless.
Yeah.
Basically, it's tasteless. But it's really funny
It's all on taste.
how
That's true.
different
It's all
areas
on
we
taste.
travel and cover. One area, we actually have 2 beauty studios. They're both owned Hazleton.
Oh, upstairs posties?
No, the beauty studio.
Oh, you're talking about
Brastro. There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
Brastro in
Brastro.
Hazleton.
Yes.
They use nothing but our gold. Their sister companies in Old Forge and use nothing but dark. It's weird. That's all they sell is the dark.
Yes, it is.
So they found that those sell better where they
In
are.
that area.
Yeah.
There's funny, each area has its own little niche.
Yeah, that's fun.
With the exception of the Big Ben's products, their store appears on the surface to be a typical distributor. I certainly thought that when I first entered on this day, and if you have thought that too, then we all made a big mistake, because there is so much more going on here. There was a door that we weren't permitted to go through, understandably, for insurance purposes. And behind that door is where the magic happens once a week. Stephen's daughter Samantha, seen here in the red shirt, was kind enough, though, to shoot video of them making various flavors of Big Ben soda, and Stephen described the process for us.
Well, basically, the concentrate and the sugar water is in a stainless steel tank in our syrup room, which has 10 tanks in the room. Okay. And we can make up to like 10, 11 flavors at once during a day. Okay. So we just, we average out what we need, what's, the product went out, and we make a batch, just kind of like suit so many cases that we need for that flavor. And then we just keep doing different batches during that operation. It starts out with the bottles coming off off a sheet and a stainless steel table. Stainless steel, it pulls the chains, pull the bottles in, they funnel them down, they run through a bottle rinser, and then they run over here to the filler. The filler injects the syrup into it and then goes into a back under the back portion of it and puts the carbonated water in it. Then it runs to a machine that tumbles it, or it gets capped first. Either a metal cap that goes on the glass bottles or the plastic caps. And then they're labeled. We have a labeling line, different labeling machines that actually glue the label to the bottle. And then they go into a machine that drops them in the case, packs them in the case. And then belt conveyor runs them out.
They usually run these machines to churn out the sodas on Sundays, although it's sometimes on Saturdays or Mondays, depending on their schedule and workload. It takes 6 people to make the soda, and it can run anywhere from 4 to 5 hours to up to 8 hours to make 400 to 800 cases of soda, however many they need. By the way, Stephen, Tim, and Michael are the only ones who know the recipes to each of their flavors. And it also involves pure cane sugar, nothing artificial in that regard, and they keep that in tanks on the second floor of this building, which is reinforced with steel. From here, the sodas may head out front, where you can buy them individually out of the cooler, or warm in 6-packs, cases, bottles, or plastic containers. They also sell them in canisters, barrels, or kegs. You may find them at a wedding. They get recommended to brides and grooms by the venues. You can also purchase their Golden Birch beer at a specific vendor at the Bloomsburg Fair, who advertises Golden Birch beer. The fair is actually a very busy 2-week stretch for them, although a little less so lately, as they've dropped down from providing beverages for 5 church stands to now just 1. Sign of the times there. Their products are at Knoebels Amusement Resort, another 100-year anniversary celebrator. In fact, you can find Big Ben's all over the state.
Pretty well. I mean, you go down Harrisburg, Lancaster, Allentown,
with
Stroudsburg,
and the Moxie,
and
some of the ginger beers and some
we
of
go
the
up to Williamsport, all the way out to all over the places. Like about 29
a collection
counties.
of Y stores.
We got territory to cover, Wises and Giants. Yes.
I've seen them at Wise and
Yes.
Giant.
Oh,
They're
yes.
inside the main door.
But
Oh, yeah,
being
that's a good place
small
for us.
company, a small bottling
Yes.
company, it's very difficult to get into a chain store.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
It is.
Yes.
Did it help that Wise is kind of local?
Well, yes, we do a lot of the local ones.
Yes.
You know,
The local. Yeah.
but we're not going out to all their stores.
Right. There's only like 12 of them,
That we
and it's like 6 Giants and so forth, just in
In
this
the area.
In this area.
Yeah, up through Williamsport
Yes.
around here, which has increased the business too.
Definitely has helped.
Gets more to the public, more exposure.
I was surprised to hear that glass bottles of their sodas can be found at nostalgia stores across the country that specialize in selling unique sodas in glass bottles. Unfortunately, it was that kind of situation that led to a sticky issue for Catawissa Bottling a while back.
We've already been sued over it.
Oh,
Cream
sh-
soda.
The which soda?
The cream soda.
Cream soda.
Oh, why? Who sued you?
Big Red. They said we were copying them.
Yep.
But it,
You probably were making them longer than Big Red.
we sent a pallets of soda to a nostalgia store out in California. Did not know they had one in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So they transferred our cream soda and some other flavors to Texas.
Oh, that's sweet.
And they picked it
on
up
the
and
radar.
said, that we're copying them and all this other stuff because our name's too close. I guess they can't spell in Texas.
That's what it is.
Because it says Big
Yeah.
Red, not
Big Red,
Big
yeah.
Benz.
Big Benz.
It became we had a heck of a lawsuit. We had to take the Big Benz off that bottle.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah.
So, is that why it's Catawissa?
That's why it's just
That's why
Catawissa
it's
private
stock.
stock.
Private
Yeah.
stock, okay.
Basically, we had to take the Big Benz off of that because of the lawsuit.
I don't think we have
It
the
was
gold label.
quite a bit of money too.
I'm sure.
But thank God our insurance company, we had a policy that our insurance company had to go to battle with us.
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest, it kind of like snowballed from there because
Yes,
they
actually
changed
it-
the label and then we added 2 more cream flavors. So
But actually, when it went down, but see, Big Red's owned by Dr. Pepper, which is owned by Cadbury Schweppes, worldwide.
A big company.
big company,
Big,
yes.
they're all in-house attorneys. did
Oh,
this
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So we had, our insurance company went to battle with us.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Yeah, that was nice.
Well, all we had to do is take it off of that,
Yeah.
take the name off. But actually, the increased people are like the UPS guy. He used to drink Dr. Pepper. He don't drink Dr. Pepper anymore. He refuses.
Oh, good.
Because, you know what I mean? He delivers here all the time.
Yeah, and so he's
Yes.
solidarity and
Yes.
loyalty.
Yes, people are loyal to the product.
Oh,
That's the funny part. I mean, it's good.
The other neat thing you'll find here is Moxie, the oldest soft drink in the country, older even than Coca-Cola. Moxie was first made by a company in Boston, and Catawissa Bottling also made it for the company at that time, although they didn't have the franchise and couldn't control the content. Then the Boston business went belly up, and there wasn't any other soda for 10 years, from 68 to 78. A concentration company like the one that supplies Catawissa picked Moxie up, discovered in paperwork that Catawissa once made Moxie, and now they're back to making it and selling it again. And so this family labor of love has kept going for the past 100 years. They've continued to adapt to their industry, going at first from returnable glass bottles that people stop returning, to finding other glass bottle sources, to moving to plastic bottles as well, and all the while keeping their machinery current with all the changes. They have plans in the works to celebrate 100 years, including special cozies and this t-shirt.
And everybody went flag crazy.
And so the only thing left for us to do is toast 100 years with a red birch beer that tastes just like the rest of their other birch beers. So I've got the red birch beer here, and Catawissa Bottling is always looking for new flavors for the future, suggestions of peach cream, possibly tea berry. We'll have to keep our fingers crossed on that one. And something like red birch beer would go very well with our next piece. We're going to head down to southern Sunbury, where a red birch beer would go really well
with a brisket taco.
The thing that I love about the job the most is it doesn't get boring because every day is different. But at the end of the day, we're always trying to solve those same problems that each business has.
I don't look at it as I'm going into advertising or marketing. I'm becoming a business partner with the companies that I get to work with.
It definitely is important to keep your mind open of new opportunities because they're everywhere.
For more information or to become a marketing strategist, head to 7mmsusquehanna.com.
Feast your eyes on this. Ribs just about ready on a smoker, with just a little bit of moisture added to get them there. A brisket being pulled from its wrapper. Good really for just about any kind of preparation. And moments later, chicken on the smoker. I'm not drooling, you are. And that sensation you're feeling is your tummy grumbling. And just wait until you see this, the finished products being put to work, either as standalone brisket or pulled pork, or both being used on a taco, or even as hog wings, the rib equivalent of chicken wings. Then there's this, one of the final products of smoked chicken, chicken on homemade waffles with gravy, mashed potatoes, and corn.
One of our biggest sellers this weekend going off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the smoked chicken and waffles. If you never had it, come down here to 1051 South Front Street in Sunbury. Homemade waffles, Pennsylvania Dutch.
Okay, now that we've got your eyes bugging and you're slightly dizzy with desperation to find out where you can get these delights, we'll tell you that gentleman pushing his product is Scott Young. And the place where you can find it, along with lots of other grub, is Southern Barbecue and Ice Cream. Yep, we didn't even address that last part, but we will in a hot minute. First, we have to wrench you away from all that amazing food footage to tell you a little bit about this business, for goodness sake, because there's a very interesting background story here. You see, Southern Barbecue and Ice Cream has only been open for a little over 3 years, and has already developed the kind of word-of-mouth business that most endeavors would die for. They only really post to Facebook, that's it. The posts are enough, though, that they get pre-orders on the chicken and waffles and another extremely popular offering, their salmon. Those two entrees alone typically sell out in advance. You're probably saying to yourself at this point that Scott is a chef with a culinary school background who has brought some sort of smoker wizardry to Southern Sunbury. I will tell you right away that isn't so. Well, at least not the first part. While he has been drawn to smokers since he was a teen, working on them with his step-grandfather, loving the way the meat tasted from a smoker, getting rave reviews for his meat work at parties, and hearing you should open up a restaurant. His work was actually in insurance. He told us that he could be either in a comfy retirement in a lounge chair somewhere right now, or pretty close to that, if not for one thing.
One night in a dream, I heard a voice tell me they wanted me to leave my insurance job, and I believe it was God. It said, I want you to leave. I heard the voice like that. And I woke up and I'm like shaking my head, and it was a job that I really enjoyed doing. I traveled all over the United States. My company flew me places all the time, and I didn't have to do a lot of hard work. and I thought, oh, this must be something bad. It was something I ate or something. And about 6 months later, I heard the voice again. I told you to leave, plain as day.
Oh my goodness.
And at that time I woke my wife up and I said to her, I said, I think I'm supposed to do a different job. And she goes, what are you talking about? And I told her what happened, and she goes, all right, what are we gonna do?
A discussion with a close friend helped him establish in his mind that what he wanted to do was open a Southern-style shack barbecue spot with his wife, Kelly, by his side, which is where she is today, and also his son Adam, working here too, living the dream. But once Scott had established what that dream within a dream was, he then had to find a place for it. And what followed was an almost surreal set of occurrences that fit that old cliche, it was meant to be.
Ken and Rose Maurer has the tackle shop next to us, and we were driving, and me and my wife were looking for a spot to go and get to put our building in. And you know, we prayed a lot over it, and we stopped in here and talked to Ken and Rose. And I asked them, because this was just all grass. What you see here was just a grass parking lot at one point. And I said, I'm thinking about opening a barbecue shack, just a little shack. Would you go and be willing to either let me buy that off you or lease it, the land from you? And they said, right away, they said to me, let me pray. Oh. Yeah. So they prayed about it, and 2 days later, they called me and they said, yeah, we'll be doing that. We sat down, we negotiated terms and stuff. But the funny thing about it is, Ken and Rose, before I knew them, they'd been praying for months that somebody would come to them and they'd get enough money that they could retire.
Oh, no kidding.
Because they had grandchildren that lived a little far away and they wanted to spend more time with their grandchildren. Well, I come in there and offer that to them. A month later, the guy that runs the tackle shop, Steve, came in and says, hey, I want to go and open a tackle shop someday. If you want to retire, let me know. And the money that he gives them and the money I give them is the same amount that they prayed for that they could retire.
Next up was getting his version of a shack established on this spot. Tables out back that he had made locally, and the carport of sorts out front, where the magic happens. He did a lot of research at first, and a trip to Tennessee led him to make a friend in Brian Pickens, the owner of Phil's Pit Dream in Kingsport, where he got a lot of tips on smoking meats. He eventually settled on a reverse smoker and had one custom made in Alabama. And it's this beast that takes up half the carport.
You'll have in a smoker, there's a hot spot and a cold spot. So you're constantly rotating your meat and then also getting the smoke flavor through it. This reverse smoker, what happens is you see the heat will come down through here. There's a chamber that goes underneath here, and then there's a wall right here. And the smoke comes right through here, bounces back up, and then comes out here. And you can regulate how much smoke you have on your meat by just putting this or this. Now ours is, you know, we always have it, you always want to see a clear smoke coming through. Now we're almost done for today, so we don't have it going much, but in the morning, you'll see it that you can see through the smoke. You never want your smoke that you can't see through it. If you get it that way at your smoker, you're doing something wrong, you need to back up. It's too much smoke, air it out, that you're not getting too much smoke on that. So that's how the reverse smoker works, and that gives you an even flow of heat, and it also gives you the same smoke taste throughout every piece. So that's a big consistency. You want to be consistent, you know, obviously for a restaurant to stay in business, you want to be consistent, and that's what we strive to do all the time. So you get the same flavor every single time.
Scott told us once he had this big smoker in place, he played around with rubs and other recipes for about 5 months, much to the delight of his honest friends who were invited over to enjoy his experiments and offer up their critiques. Once he had his rubs established, then it was a matter of getting folks used to eating his smoked meats Southern style, with just the rub. He says we have a tendency to throw barbecue sauce on everything, but believes that if your food is good, you don't need the sauce. The hand rub should just be enough. But still, they do make their own barbecue sauce, much like they use homemade recipes for their baked beans and coleslaw. While they started out with a fairly limited menu, they have grown to where they are now, with a tremendous number of options for the variety you may be craving, and they offer a daily special. It's to the point that Scott is wondering if he should have built a bigger shack, or maybe expand it into a restaurant in the future with more offerings like steaks. Speaking of offerings, that brings us to the other piece of this puzzle. Scott always knew he wanted it to be called Southern Barbecue and Ice Cream, because they work so well together and he felt Sunbury needed another spot with this treat. He has a nice selection of Hershey's ice cream that he gets each week, with some interesting offerings like this one, Lemon Bar, which he says tastes exactly like lemon meringue. Out of this comes the perfect dessert in all of the typical ice cream ways you could have it. And on this day, which was Cinco de Mayo, and after my brisket tacos, I decided on a chocolate raspberry truffle shake, which Scott let me make.
Put about 3 more scoops in. 3 more scoops. Get out of your way. And you the tap off, and you want to fill it about halfway. So a little less than halfway there.
You might have to say when.
Okay, so you win. That's good. Yeah. And then you move your. Yep. Go all the way up, and then you hit. Midtown Bistro.
That tells you something.
I hit something.
I don't know if
Yep,
I'm done or not.
that's good.
Okay.
You did good. Now what you do is we have 16-ounce cups.
Okay.
And then what we do, we need a spatula. Where's your spatula? There's no spatula there.
Stay out of your way.
The black spatula. Okay, so what we do then is you want to take this.
Yeah.
And you just go like this then. Right? Look, that's a perfect milkshake. We're never doing it. Look at that. Right? And then what we do that a lot of people don't do, we put this lid on, and then this gives it the extra touch, Chris. So we go like this.
Oh, you're gonna put some of that in there.
And then we take the whipped cream.
You're the man.
Good, then we give you the straw. Here you go, sir.
Thank you. This is fantastic.
Try it, and what do you think?
Can you put
That's
this
chocolate,
side down?
Yep, which one? Yep, that side. Yep. That's the chocolate raspberry.
Oh,
That's a good one.
yeah.
I love the pieces of the chocolate.
Oh yeah, that's why I like Hershey's
They want no
ice
lemon,
cream.
and they
good.
want the red
Yep.
Dark
sauce,
chocolate.
So just drizzle.
While Scott ponders any future physical expansion, Southern Barbecue and Ice Cream has grown in another way, catering. They do a lot for Wise Markets at least once a week, which is just across the street, but the number of calls for more catering work has increased quite a bit, to the point he gets 4 or 5 inquiries for a weekend, and he says he can't do them all. He told us on this day that he was getting ready for a very big catering job, ribeye steaks for over 500 employees at National Beef. They've also had this trailer now for a year. Scott went into it as a partner with Wes Conrad, who was working at the shack on the day we were there. It has a working kitchen inside that's just as big as the one in the shack, but this one has fryers, which allows them to offer some different fare than they offer at the shack, like French fries and onion rings. Wes and his wife take it out to fairs and festivals, so keep an eye out for it. There's also a small smoker out front that they use for pig roast, and in front of that was something that caught my eye and led to these words of caution from Scott.
How do you know it's an authentic barbecue spot? I said the first thing you look for, you want to look for smokers. If you don't see a smoker, throw a flag. The second thing is, if you don't see wood laying around the barbecue place, then the bells and whistles better be going off. Then you know they're buying their meat and just bringing it in.
For his part, Scott uses a mix of oak and cherry, the former for the heat and the latter for the flavor. You may also be as surprised as I was to learn that they begin their smoking at 5 in the morning and are usually done with what they need for the day by mid to late morning. They run 2 shifts here, with the second taking over around 1. Southern Barbecue and Ice Cream is a year-round venture, which may cause you to question how they handle things during the winter months. Because Scott wouldn't have anyone do what he wouldn't want to do, they only fire things up for lunch or dinner during the cold months. And it's pickup then. During the spring and summer months is when people get to lounge and enjoy the outdoor seating. And also when they add breakfast to their menu, my goodness, usually about the middle of May. This is the time of the year when they expand their hours from 11 to 7 to 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Wednesdays through Saturdays.
When people tell you, man, that tastes good, it's a good feeling, you know, and you're helping people, you're feeding the people and stuff, and I enjoy it. Cooking is fun to me. You know, everybody says you have $1 million job if you find something you like.
So you can't beat the view up here, can you?
No, nope.
And there's nothing better than a night.
A lot of people get milkshakes or something to eat and come up here and sit, especially at night, the sunset. You know, it's Sunbury, Pennsylvania. People don't understand what you have here. I mean, you got something beautiful. When that sunset comes down over the cemetery, there at night, it is amazing. Oh, yeah. Amazing, and it's so peaceful. Usually I know they're mowing right now, but it's peaceful here. And people come from all over the world to fish here. You know, there's people that come in here, hey, I'm from Canada, or I'm over from across the seas. I'm like, how do you find this place? Well, we heard about the fishing here, the bass and the walleye. Right. Or they'll be out on a boat and they'll come in and say, hey, we smelled your restaurant. Why are you doing that to us? You did that on purpose, you know?
Yeah, that's for better advertising.
I know. So we get a lot of fishermen, obviously. A lot of fishermen that'll come over that are fishing all day, or especially down at the Fiber Dam that know that we're here. The walk, you can see with the dike here, this dike's 3 miles. If you wanted to, you could walk from one end of the town to the other end of town, and why not get a milkshake and just go for a walk, take your dog and go.
You can't ask for better advertisement than that, can you?
Nope.
So if you have a segment idea, send it to us at IYN16 Stop by our Facebook page. We're on YouTube as well, our website. That's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Chris O'Rourke. We'll see you again next time, maybe from in your neighborhood.